What's up, everybody? How are you? It's Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Kevin Branzetti, and we are in the building. Happy Wednesday to you all. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Rain off and on. It is what it is. Listen, we just want a nice summer. Summer's not here yet, is it? Right? I don't know if it's come yet or next week.
Kind of getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's playing with us off and on. How you doing, Kev?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Shout out to all the sponsors and everybody that watches RTC, Soft Illusions Art Gallery, Melba Wilson Design Interaction, Reggie Wells Quality Speakers, Leon Ellis Chocolat, and the list goes on, and Ingram Taxes. So we appreciate you all. If you first time watching Real Talk Chronicles, subscribe to it by YouTube. If you're watching it via Facebook, that's fine too. Don't have a problem with that. Just subscribe to it on YouTube so we can know that you're really watching us. You know what I'm trying to say? That's a beautiful thing. So let's get right into it. You know, during the summer hours, we go to an hour and we try to stay with that, even though the conversation gets so good. I see we got Ty Butler in the building. Yeah. What's up, Ty? How you feeling, brother?
My tea.
Ty, can you hear us? Ty. I don't know if Ty can hear us.
Ty's got 2G.
The sound isn't good on your end.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, but you're going in and out.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
We hear you great. We hear you great. Oh, you're buffering. Uh-oh. He got 2G. Hey, Stefania, what's going on? How are you? Well, I'm sure Ty will come back to us in a minute. You know, everybody, the biggest news is going on today. Of course, you know about Trump getting indicted in Florida. You know, a lot of people are talking about a conspiracy theory that they're just doing anything to get this man. Your thoughts on that? It is what it is. But you know what the alarming thing is, that people really still want him back in office. And I think that's the most delusional thing for me as a person. That, you know, we get Ty's coming back. Yeah, he's 2G in today, Kev. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know?
Yeah, it seems like it's some technical difficulties. I don't know I end or your end.
No, we're gonna blame it on you. Don't blame it on me. No.
Ty, you never blame the host. You gotta take the hit for the team.
I'll take responsibility.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah. And we got Rich Williams in the building. So we're gonna get right into it because like we said, we got this. What's up, Rich?
What's good, fellas?
And nothing. How you feeling today, brother? So also, yeah, like Stefania said, did you see about the woman that was stabbed on the train and her boyfriend stabbed the dude? Or you know, I know a woman got punched in the face on the train and her boyfriend stabbed the dude. Listen, I don't know what to say about that. I ain't mad at dude. You hit my wife. It's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? I'm not now from a legal standpoint. I don't know. What Kevin? What do you think will happen to him?
What did he do to the guy? Punched him, and he did what?
The guy punched his wife in the face,
and then he did what?
He stabbed him.
That's a tough one.
And the guy died. Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Absolutely, it's a very tough one.
I like to see the video. Look, there's an argument of depending upon the size of the guy.
Right.
Like, was it a quick jab or was it like he was starting to throw haymakers and you thought your wife's life was in danger and you did what you had to do? So
yeah,
I need to see the video. Does it exist?
Not yet.
What state? What state?
New York. It was in the paper today.
Oh, he's going to jail.
In Brooklyn. It was in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's New York. Nobody goes to jail.
Oh, he's definitely going to jail.
Oh, you hilarious. So,
Also, this is real talk, right?
Absolutely.
He's going to make jail. He'll be in there with the hamburger.
Oh, you stupid. Now, what I want to talk about also too, did y'all see the video of the cop pulling over the other cop?
No.
You sent it out.
Yeah, I sent it out. Yeah. I want to talk about that later on. But right now, let's talk about the real elephant in the room. The police commissioner resigned. We could talk about all the rumors that we've heard. That's speculation, assumptions,
What
and
you
stuff
talking
like
about?
that.
The commissioner resigned.
You watched
She resigned, bro. She resigned.
Adams didn't resign.
You in another state?
Commissioner, not the mayor.
Adams didn't
Are
resign.
you stupid? Yo, he's stupid. He said Adams didn't resign.
Adams was the police commissioner and the mayor all at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Let me ask you a question.
Is that the boss behind you?
Yeah, that's the boss. That's
What's going on, Tony?
So Rick,
I'm glad you here. I'm glad you here, man. Because he gonna act right today.
So Rich, since you started it off, what's your thought process on that? You already gave a little insight.
No, honestly, man, I was surprised she lasted as long as she did. Because I mean, the feelers were out there that a lot of people really wasn't feeling her because she got, she went over a lot of other people, just because she was a female, number one. But I don't think Adams gave her the opportunity, and it's just my opinion. I don't think he gave her the opportunity to take charge the way she wanted to. Like if you look at past commissioners, whenever there was a press conference about anything related to police, the mayor was there, but the commissioner did the talking. Right. But with Adams, he does most of the talking, and then he'll throw you a bone here. All right, well, say something. And I think she was kind of feeling that. And then she said she was being undermined. She was being micromanaged. Those were her words, micromanaged.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that's just him as a man? Because I mean, we all know he loves the limelight. He's not shy of a camera.
Well, he's a former police officer. That's the other part. He was once on the force, and I think he went as far as captain, right? Yeah. So he was I guess he commanded a precinct or something. I don't know, but I guess it was kind of difficult for him to let it go solely to her without doing some kind of micromanaging to a degree because of his background. I don't know if it was intentional or what, but if you a cop, I mean, I guess that's in any field of whatever, and somebody else comes in and they're doing the same job you used to do, you might be looking over their shoulder, and plus she came from outside of NYPD. She came from what was that? Nassau County, and I don't think Nassau County is anything close to policing the 5 boroughs, I mean, managing the 5 boroughs,
Well, the one thing you got to put on her resume, she ran a detective bureau, so she knew, I guess, management in that aspect. But with that being said, Ty, what was your thought process? And then I'll go to Kevin and we'll open it up a little bit,
Well, from my understanding, she was doing a good job. I mean, like the same opinion that was voiced already. She wasn't out in front of the people as much as past commissioners have been, and speaking on serious situations like you would see past commissioners have done. But up until 2 days before I heard she resigned, I saw her speaking out in Staten Island. So I don't know what transpired. I heard rumors, but we're not gonna touch on those. I would just say, I guess some way, somehow she wasn't getting along, and or somebody wasn't getting along with her, and that's what happened.
Hey, but let me say something else though. I wasn't. If I sounded like I thought that she wasn't doing a good job, no, that's not really what I was trying to say. If it came across that way, because I have seen her in public forums, like at the precinct council meetings and different things like that. I saw her at the funeral for the two officers that got killed at the 32nd precinct. The woman is well spoken. I mean, she speaks fluent Spanish. I mean, if you hear her speak, I mean, she's second to none, man. She's a great public speaker, and that's what kind of shocked me about the fact that, I don't know if he didn't allow her to, or I don't know what, but she was never in front of the camera. I've seen her at different functions, but I didn't see her so much in front of the camera whenever these big things happen. I don't know if that was her or the mayor. I think it was the mayor's the mayor doing that, But the woman is, I mean, it's like if you hear her speak, for somebody to come behind her, it's like coming in after Luther Vandross' son. I mean, that's how well the woman speaks, Well,
let me just say this, and then I'm gonna let Ty finish, and then I'm gonna bring Kevin. The one thing is, like Ty said, I really don't want to touch too much on the rumors, but what we did hear is that there was tension amongst the ranks about decision making, right? That's what we heard. I don't know if that's true, so that's why I'm going to say it was rumor. I want to ask you after, to piggyback off what you said, Rich, and what Ty was saying, and then Kev, let me get your thoughts first before I go further into it. What's your thoughts?
Hey, you were kind of just hitting it right there, Bill. We have no idea.
Right.
Newspapers are dying for headlines and things, and they'll put whatever they want and feel and some rumor they hear. We know zero of what went into her decision. They could have gotten along fine. She could have other personal reasons. She could have a job offer we don't know about. Right. There are lots of reasons. My guess is nowhere in any of these articles is the right answer.
Right.
Some point down the road, we'll find out.
And we may never. I mean, like I said, because right now what we're dealing with is a lot of speculations and rumors. Let me just read what Stefania said. Stefania said she doesn't think they think they were a good parent. She says, I personally don't feel that the women belong in leadership positions due to my personal experiences. Okay, elaborate on that, please. Nigeria said there were 3 women in high positions having left under him. So he is in the common denominator. Pray things get better. Today we have the most people of color in high positions, and can we just get along? More importantly, can we clean up the urban communities? My man Phil said she wasn't really allowed to do her job. Phil Banks was actually pulling the strings behind the scenes, and I think she got tired of it. This is like I said,
speculation. I agree with one thing with Rich, though. I heard her speak once live.
Yeah.
She's inspiring.
No.
And I think she had, right, because when she came on, we had a couple of really bad cop killings. And
yeah, she got hit with a lot. She got hit with a lot,
but she also gained the respect of the rank and file because of her actions during those.
Right.
Like,
the one thing that I think we got to give her credit on, and I'm putting this out there to you guys. First and foremost, she was very articulate. We can't dismiss her background. The one thing Adams did is that he said he wanted to put a woman in a position. I think he wanted a woman of color, and he did that. I think she held her own, in my own personal opinion. I think from what I heard from the troops and the people that still work in NYPD, that she was liked. That's what I heard. I didn't hear the negative of, she don't know what she's doing and stuff like that. Now, like I said,
I've never heard anything negative about it either, man. Everybody that I came across, she was a warm person. She wasn't standoffish. If you spoke to her or you wanted to come up and take a picture with her, she was, come on.
Right. I heard, people try to say that, she was kind of introverted, but that doesn't mean she didn't hold a position down. You don't have to go in there shucking and jiving and smiling with everybody. But I think, like I said, I heard she was like I said, due to the speculations, we're going to leave that alone because we heard a lot of that.
For me, the question is, who's next?
Well, let me go into that. That's what I'm about to segue into. So do we go into, does he look for another woman? Is Eddie Caban somebody you think about? Does he look within the ranks? There are still some females in high-ranking positions. So I heard rumblings that somebody was like, "Oh, I hope he doesn't bring Holmes over." I don't know anything about Holmes. I've never worked with her. I don't know her personally. So, there's rumors that a lot of time, like how they, well, I could say about, what was it, Jaffe? They said she wasn't liked. A lot of people didn't like her. I don't know about Holmes. Ty, you know anything, or you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
I would like to give my opinion.
Absolutely, please.
If I was the mayor, and from a political standpoint, I would search for another woman of color to put in a position to show that it wasn't a problem with having a woman there of color running the helm. Honestly, who I liked from what I've seen across the country is the young lady who came out of Oakland, and I think she runs Philadelphia now. I think her name is Danielle Outlaw. I heard her name was on the up at one point in time.
Yeah, she was on the list. She was on the list. Yeah, she was. Yeah.
I really, she comes from the inner city. She worked in the inner city. She's had experience, I think, in Portland, Oregon, and she's been running Philadelphia for the last few years. I honestly think this is what I would do if I was me. I would bring somebody who was very culpable and capable of handling the position and has had extensive experience, and another woman of color, just to show that it wasn't about that. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if it was Kevin or you who said it, that the man's had past problems with other women of color or women in his.
He's let some women go, but he's also let men go. You can't.
Yeah,
I don't hold that against him.
But that's what my thoughts were on that.
Right.
Kev, does it hurt having somebody who's never lived and been lived in New York City and never been part of NYPD?
But
that's a common complaint. Like Rich has made that complaint a lot about. You shouldn't be a cop in New York City if you don't live here.
But I'll say this, Kev, I don't mean to cut you off.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just asking.
Okay, but what I'm saying is this: the three of us worked as New York City cops at one point in time, so we know New York City. But
what about me? I'm a buffer. I can't get no credit.
You get a little bit of credit. Get a little bit of credit. But what I want to say to that was this: when you are in a position, you travel across this country, and you travel to cities like Chicago and Philadelphia and Los Angeles and Oakland and Detroit and Miami, and you've seen the inner cities in these cities. Trust me, New York is bad, but these places are just as bad, if not worse. You know what I mean? So
I completely agree.
If you get something from that dynamic, like, look, years ago, we had the guy from Houston. What was his name? Brown, Commissioner Brown.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So, and things worked out well while he was there. But he was
the first black commissioner, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No, it was green. It was green. It was green.
I don't think it makes a massive difference of who the commissioner is. If cops aren't allowed to do their job, if we're not prosecuting anybody, if we're allowing people to freely act bad,
Kevin,
what does it matter?
But Kevin, you said if cops are not allowed to prosecute people?
No, he said do their job properly.
Do the job, and if we're not, and we are not prosecuting people.
But that's what you said.
All right. I'm correcting my English.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah. I was just referring to your attorney to get you to correct, what you said.
Y'all hilarious. Let me read what's the.
To me, that's more important. Changing how we prosecute people,
right?
Than who's the next police commissioner.
So I mean, and to your point, you're right. We could have anybody in there, but if
I got two picks.
Hold on, Rich. You can have anybody in there, but if you can't, if the district attorneys are not going to prosecute them, it doesn't make a difference who's in there. Stefania said, well, from my experience with female managers, supervisors, they like to be in charge and not necessarily lead. There's a difference. They accept the accolades when when things are going well, yet blame others when the ship begins to sink. So it's obviously you have a problem. And then she says, then they add cattiness on top and become.
I'm glad I didn't say that.
Well, that's another female saying it, and I guess that's from her experience. I don't know. Phil said he think Jeff Madry would be good for the thing.
That's one of my picks.
Yep. I mean, and like I said, I hate to get into this rumor thing. I heard there was tension between her and Madry, in lieu of Madry getting, I think, like when he supposedly intervened in that in a friend or retired MOS, and I think charges and specs came down, and I think she was going to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm hearing. I don't know. I heard City Hall didn't like that. Of course, we know about what happened between her and Holmes. That was in the paper about changing the qualifications of the run and things of that magnitude.
Oh, I'm sorry. She spoke out about that? I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think she wanted to change that.
Well, why would you? But I'm just saying, she actually spoke out about that. I didn't know.
Well, this was in the paper, that there was a meeting, and she wasn't going to change it, and then
change what?
The run. She wasn't going to change the run.
Okay, so the people that don't know what the run is.
Okay, the run.
Is the run running your mouth?
Go ahead, Ty. Break it down. Tell people what the run is.
Running your mouth too much, Rich. Let Bill.
It's gonna get hot. So, Kev, break down what the run is for people, please.
The run is basically what you do in the academy, the mile and a half run that you do in the academy before you come on the job, to part of your physical qualification. And I think I'm not sure, did Holmes change it, or she shortened it, or took it out? She did what, Kev?
I thought she eliminated it.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she said, to piggyback off what Kevin is saying, she said that no police officer is chasing somebody a mile and a half or whatever the qualification. But you know what? And I had a problem with that. She's totally right. But the thing is, there isn't any of us, especially between the three of us, that came on this job that we can't say we wasn't in the best shape of our life when we came out the academy. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Now, what happened to us after is a whole other story. But the thing is, listen, we would be on a foot post and you get a call, you run 2 blocks. You know what I'm saying? When you was a rookie. Right now,
with all that
but you need an energy after you ran that 2 block. Right? If all I can run is 2 block and I'm gassed, well, that's no good.
Right.
What is it?
So my thing is, okay, Phil wants Madry. What do you think about Eddie Caban he would be the first Latin commissioner? Anybody?
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. You know, if he's liked what Eddie has done, Eddie's got to be in. Right. Forget about all the interviews of everybody else going around the country. He's been your number 2. Eric has to know Eddie was good or he wasn't.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, the bottom line is Eddie has, for one thing, he's come up the ranks. You know, he's worked with Kevin and I in the 2.8. I used to drive him.
But can he work with the mayor?
Well, that's why he's in the number 2 spot, because he can work with the mayor.
Exactly. That's why the mayor put him there. The mayor gave him that position. Trust me. The mayor gave him that position. Now, is that a pacifier? Does he put an intern on his title, or does he still look for, like you said, like Ty said, maybe go look for another female? Or does he go to Magic?
Eddie might not want it. Eddie might not want the limelight. It's nice being the number 2. Nobody screams at the number 2.
No, they don't.
You know, like there ain't no bad articles in the news about number 2.
No, there's not. Nah, the number 2 goes around
researching your background, trying to find some flaw in you when you're number 2. When you're number 1, everybody's out for your head.
Yep.
But isn't the commissioner a civilian's job though?
So is the first step.
Yep.
Maybe it
should be you. Rich is trying to vie for it now. That's what he's thinking. I think it should be Rich.
No, you wouldn't want me there.
I would absolutely absolutely want you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Chuck,
Yo.
they want me to
Chuck,
be the next commissioner.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Come on, Chuck. I'll be Rich's first
Absolutely not, man. Absolutely.
You know what? The first thing that I would do, I would reactivate all 4 of you motherfuckers. It'd be like Mission Impossible.
Oh, shit.
That police department get turned up inside out. Listen, if the 4 of us came back, people getting fired, retired.
I'm telling you, man.
Yo, listen.
It'd be a lot of exit interviews.
Definitely.
So Chuck, let me bring you up to speed real quick. I don't know if you was listening before you logged on. So the bottom line is, first we're gonna ask you what was your impression of the police commissioner, and then 2, who do you think should be next in line? We've had people talk about Madry. We talked about should we go outside, or should we have Eddie Caban as the first step, or if anybody else that you think. And then, we tried to stay away from the rumors that we did hear, but the thing is, I mean, those are hard not to speak on. We also heard, we mentioned that, we heard that she had riff with Holmes over the run. I think we all knew that we was against that. We wasn't co-signing that. And so what's your thoughts, man?
Well, first and foremost, I think that when she came in, she wasn't provided with all the resources, or let's say the autonomy, to do the things that she should have or she could have done as a police commissioner, because she was an outsider, which is 1. 2, when they created that position for Banks, I think, what is it, deputy commissioner of public safety or something to that nature?
Absolutely.
Right.
Director of Public Affairs.
There it is.
No, he's in charge of everything. He's in charge of all public safety.
That has to do anything having to do with safety. That was the caveat. So indirectly, as far as I'm concerned, he was the police commissioner. As far as I was concerned, once he created that particular format and that position directly for Banks, and there were some things that were happening that I also found out that was happening behind her back. Like, for instance, Banks sometimes would just call meetings, like with her chiefs, tell them to come down. I want to speak to you about something. We would conduct strategy meetings with chiefs from certain bureaus, and she wasn't included in it. She wasn't asked to be there. She didn't even know there was going to be a meeting. She wasn't aware of the fact that these strategy meetings were being done. And they kind of handcuffed her from day one. So I think that Eric Adams wanted to show very clearly that he wanted to put someone in the position of being the first Black woman, but I don't think he really wanted to give that Black woman the autonomy to be the police commissioner as she should. And that's unfortunate. And at some point, between the supposed rumor mill with the thing with Madry, her disciplining him and going at certain people and trying to hold them accountable, they had somewhat direct contact, or they were boys directly related to Adams. And even though he may have said, okay, it's all right, there wasn't much that was done in regards to those particular people who were connected to Adams. And there's a lot of frustration that set in, unfortunately. And I mean, I didn't think, I was really surprised that she stayed as long as she did, because she actually gave a speech directly at the Police Women's Conference. I don't know if you heard the speech someone was kind enough to give it to me in its entirety. She talked about there are still certain things that are in place, which is a good old boy network. And unfortunately, as a woman, you still have to fight against, the tirades of this good old boy network that's cemented and concreted in some way or another within the New York City Police Department. And that is a constant battle when she has to deal with those particular, parameters. So unfortunately, she was like fighting an uphill battle. And at some point, like I said, I'm surprised that she stayed as long as she did. But I like the person had the opportunity to speak to her one-on-one. All of that she wanted to do for the department, especially in terms of boosting morale. That's something that she really thought was supposed to have been the first and foremost thing on her list. She tried to do it as much as possible, but all the other shenanigans that was going on, it's kind of hard to do so,
Right. So now let me ask you a question. Let me just say this real quick. Ty, Ralph said he likes your shirt, the Inkwell, and then Phil says, I got to give my man Big Ralph some love. And then Phil says Adams wanted Banks as a PC, but due to his previous problems, he felt he couldn't put him in that high profile position.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
But
so you create.
now let me ask you a question. Are we really shocked by what's happening in the police department? Because we know how it's run. We all know how it's run. It's just, I guess, the fact that, I heard the rumblings before that she was going to leave. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you said, I think we've all said we're surprised she lasted this long. But the one thing that I think we all agree, the five of us agree, is that we felt she did a good job and she was liked by the troops. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like Kevin said earlier, she came in and she probably came in with the worst beginning of any ever police commissioner ever in this world. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, like, how many, Kevin? I mean, let me know. I mean, how many murders?
I'll give you one guy who had it worse. His first day, O'Neill. His first day was
Jimmy,
the bombings.
Yeah.
His day one on the job was the bombings on 23rd Street. It was the 2 pipe bombs.
Right.
Yeah, like that. That's an interesting first day. Like that was.
I mean, that's a hell of a first day. I mean, I know, but you go at them. You call out your terrorist teams. But the thing is, I mean, for the loose cops and
I mean, during her watch, man, she saw during her watch, I mean, she lost a couple of officers, died, and it was just right out of the gate, man. She was getting bombarded and hit with some of the most tremendous and most complicated situations, man. And like I said, I give her a lot of credit, man. She's a really good person. She had a good soul. Her overall spirit was in the right place, but like I said, they just didn't give her the autonomy, man, to do what she wanted to do. You know, they held her to the fire.
But what
and having to constantly go to City Hall to ask for something, I mean, that's that new, I guess, comes to movement, everything's got to go through City Hall. So that's another thing that just kind of ties your hands.
I got to ask you guys this. What mayor wasn't like that? All right. De Blasio, Rudy. I always say maybe Bloomberg might let Ray Kelly be Ray Kelly. But the other ones took control too. This is not just Eric, right? Like it's not a new way of doing it.
No.
No,
it's not. No, it's not. Not at all. Not at all.
3 of the previous 4 mayors did this.
Giuliani was just like that. That's why Bratton left.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And de Blasio was like that too, right? Like you had decisions were made through his office. The only person, I think, Bloomberg with Kelly.
Right. I mean, a lot of people like Kelly, even when we had now. For the clarification, I've had Phil on before he took the job. I doubt I'll ever get him back, because he's in his position. I would love to. I've had Eric on before he became the mayor. So, I mean, Real Talk is doing real things. But also, too, and I will bring the district attorney back when I get the chance to pull him in. But Kev, let me ask you a question. And Chuck, I'll start with you. And then, Kev, I want you to follow up with this. And then Ty and Rich. So, who would you want? Before you came on, we talked about going outside, getting another female. We also mentioned Madry. We also mentioned Eddie Caban. But, I mean, we have some females still around, high-ranking Black females. Or do we have some Latin females in high-ranking positions? I don't know if Eric wants a woman of color or he just wants a woman, period. I don't know his thought process. But in your mind, what would you think he should do going forward? Or who would you like, I should say?
Well, you know what? Honestly speaking, man, and it sounds messed up to say, I can't see anyone that's currently in the department that could be the police commissioner. I don't have. I mean, you want to put somebody as a figurehead. I get it. Like, of course, you like Eddie Caban because he's the first step. It would only make sense, right, that he would be the next in line. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, right? I think it was I forgot the brother's name. He was the first step, and when the police commissioner left, they thought that he would probably be in the running. But instead,
Ben Tucker.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Tucker, right? He was the first step, and then all of a sudden, it only made sense that he would, pick up the reins from there, and that's not what happened. They jumped past them and around him, and they went to O'Neill. I mean, they went to what's his name? Shay, right? They went directly to Shay. So it would make sense, but I can't see anyone right now within the department that I would say could actually be the police commissioner. I would say once again, he may have. I would prefer to go outside. I really would. He needs some new blood because as long as you have that, I mean, once again, once you have that same old blood sitting around, these same officers, same executive body, the ideology is still the same. It hasn't changed. It hasn't shifted. And I think she was trying to shift the tide, and because of that, it was like, well, no, we always do things this way, and this is how we usually work things out. But that's part of the reason why they probably didn't give her a lot of love because of the fact that she wanted to make some changes. And then just going back to that good old boy network, that doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Right.
So
Right.
so like I said, I don't see anybody that think that would be formidable that would make a great or a good police commissioner at this particular point. Whoever's put in there right now is just going to be a figurehead, just someone to say, okay, he's a police commissioner for whatever reason. But the overall strings are still going to be pulled from City Hall, regardless of what the circumstances may be. And unless Banks has an affinity or at least has some amount of respect for the person that's put in that cockpit, Banks is still going to continue to call the shots from a distance. And that's just my feeling.
Right, right. No, let me just read some comments and then we can go around and open it up. Cheryl said Eric wants to know where the party's at. Party is. That might be true because Quiet's kept. He might be coming to the brunch party this Saturday. So if you want to meet the mayor, he might want to come by. Stefania said, does he want a woman because he genuinely thinks she's capable, or is he just picking women to satisfy the political climate? I wonder. That's a great question because the bottom line is we understand what Biden did with Kamala Harris, and that's why I think it's so hard for him to get reelected. I mean, besides a lot of other things. But the bottom line is I think there's this America that does not want to see a black woman in power, whether they feel she's good for the job or not. What's your thoughts, Kev, Rich, Ty?
There's more than one. I said this when she was picked, though. Like, she might not have had the best resume out of everybody who applied, right? She may not have. It doesn't mean she couldn't do the job. Just because you have the top resume doesn't mean you're the best pick for this position.
Right.
There isn't one soul out there for this job. There's probably 50 good people who can do this job.
Mm-hmm.
Can Eric find one of those 50? I'd say he probably could. But I don't think it's a one person, like there's only one human being who can do this. I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be Rich. But
oh, hell no.
Yo, that would be something to imagine to bring a civilian in. I mean, the thing is, like I said, we all know with this job comes so much nepotism.
He was never a cop.
Yeah, he was correctional. Schaefer wasn't a cop.
I don't know what the heck he was, but he was nothing.
Wait a minute. Remember the guy that used to be the head of sanitation? Then they went from the sanitation commissioner to the fire chief, then to the police chief.
I think that's safe.
What dude was that?
Yeah, that might have been Schaefer, right?
That's right. Schaefer was Schaefer was with the fire department. Then yes, he's right.
Yes, he's right.
I think it was Schaefer.
He was with the fire department. He was with sanitation.
Yeah,
you're right.
And the police department.
Right.
Come on, man. I know my history.
Yeah, and he was the worst. So Ty, and then Rich. So Ty, I know you mentioned earlier you want to go outside the apartment.
Yeah, I told you I felt that young lady in Philly would be a great fit, but from my understanding, I think she's out. She had a R&P accident or somebody rammed into her. But
Right.
I think she would have been a great fit for New York. Knowing her background, hearing her speak, and seeing what she's done in Philly,
What do you think about Madry or Caban?
I think they both would do well, but I don't with the surroundings they have right now, because everybody in that network is familiar with everyone. Eric, Phil, Caban, Eddie Caban, Madry, they're all familiar with each other, and if they did that, then it would work.
Yeah,
they'd make it work.
Well, I mean, the best thing, like you said, it should work because they all peoples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rich?
Yeah, they run together. They're homeboys.
Yeah. Rich, you said
Well,
you like
I
Madry?
agree. I agree with Ty because I think Madry. I would pick if it was me. I would pick Madry because what I know about Madry is no chump, and he knows how to play the politics too. You know,
But he also knows how to police the city.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, he knows how to police the city. He's worked in a several different parts of NYPD. I remember he was head of community affairs at one time.
Mhm.
But I think that he would be. Like I said, I would pick him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the mayor, if he wants to go for another woman, you have some women now that are in positions inside of the department that are also LGBTQ. You know, and if he grabs one of them and throws them in that position, he'll be hitting two birds, one stone: a woman and somebody that's in that community. Because it seems like a lot of stuff is going on where they want to cater to a particular group of people, but that's just
Well, I also heard
that's
about
not to say they wouldn't be qualified.
I also heard about Chief Obey. She's in charge of Manhattan North now, and I think she was in charge of Manhattan North, but now she's in charge of training. I don't know. It's so funny. Like I said, nobody right now knows. My ear's been to the street with it. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he should do. I think we all agree that the former police commissioner, her resignation is in. She goes out at the end of the month. I think she did a great job. Like I said, she was liked. I heard she was bringing in people from Nassau, and then people like I said, I don't want to get into the rumors, but I heard like she was pigeonholed, like her arms were tied behind her back on certain things. Like, people was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And then people wanted promotions or get this, and she was like, "Nah, knock it off. I'm not co-signing that," or whatever the case may be. And then certain things, like I said, I don't want to I will talk to you guys about that, but the last thing I do is want to get out here and start saying rumors that ain't true.
But Bill,
Yes.
I mean, anytime you get a post like that where they want to put you in charge, and you got the ability to hire people, you want to surround yourself with familiar people that'll watch your back. You want to build a nice little front for yourself.
No, absolutely. I mean,
I think what I would do. If you hired me for commissioner, the first thing I do is, like I said, reactivate you 5 motherfuckers.
Which is a bad start.
Exactly. And listen, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
And whenever we talk about it, we talked about in the green room.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, wait. Even now, I'm the token guy.
And then after we talk, I come out and put Kevin in front of the camera.
He'll be the fall guy, right? He'll be the fall guy.
I'm only going out the camera with Ty. I'm bringing my lawyer.
I mean, whispering in Kev's ear.
Say this, and say you grab your crotch, all kind of shit.
Did you ever see that dude Killer Mike special where he went around the country and he couldn't speak to white people, but he hired a white guy to speak for him.
Yeah.
So like if a white guy talked to him, he would tell the white guy what to say, and he said, "Yo, I was talking to Mike." He says, "Mike doesn't talk to white people."
What kind of shit is that?
God.
Let me read some comments real quick. D said, "Did she actually have a chance? We need new blood with the ranks. The club has the end." Stefani said, "Nah, I co-signed that, Uncle Kev. Rich would shake the table." Phil said, "Look at the head of sanitation now. She's strictly a political appointee." Absolutely. D said, she did the best that she can with the hand that she was dealt. Absolutely. So, let me ask you a question. Kev, I would love for you if you could get that video up of these two cops getting into it. I
What you
would
sent
love.
what you send it? They sent in a text.
Did I send it in a text or did I send it? I put it on my page too. I mean, maybe you could Google it, Kev. I mean, I know you stat qualified. You definitely, you got that shit. But so while Kev tries to get that, Chuck, Rich, Ty, let me ask you real quick. What do you thinking about Trump being indicted in Florida?
Good for him. Good for him. He needs to be indicted. He needs to be thrown in jail. But make sure before we get off this call, you talk about that cop that got pulled over and fired from the job while he was in a marked car. I can't.
That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I want Kev to pull up. That's
I'm gonna get it.
Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah.
What do you? First and foremost, everybody out there that doesn't know, there's a certain kind of professionalism that we work with amongst ourselves. Now we've heard. I'm gonna say this. I'm not even gonna say this is rumor. I heard Florida. I heard Virginia. They don't care if you're from New York City or not. They don't care about any police. Blue Lives Matter do not matter with them and shit. They will give you the business. My man was telling me Virginia is a whole nother beast too when it comes to how they treat other officers. And I heard Florida is that too. I remember one of our fellow officers we used to work with in the 2A Kev. He told me he went there to he retired. His name was you know him, Billy. So you should pick up the last name. He said he went to Florida and he was working. He was still on the job, and I think he went a little fast. Cop wrote him a ticket, and he was like, "Yo, like, what's up?" He said, "Yo, man, I ain't never going to New York."
That's messed up.
Yo,
that's messed up. That's messed up.
And then I've heard about officers, getting pulled over in ATL. It seems like this new culture now. They are not honoring the job. You may give more love to a person in the military, than you will do somebody that did your job. That is bonkers to me.
What I was about to
cut
you off. I was about to tell you it was Virginia where those two cops pulled that lieutenant over and maced him and pulled him out of the car. So because he didn't want to pull over in a dark spot. Pulled over in a lit gas station.
Yeah, how about that? And then you got to go through the mess. So everybody, right now, we're gonna show this, and please give us your thoughts on this. Ready? I'm gonna add it to the screen. All right, Kev, give us some volume and go.
Yeah, give me a thumbs up if the volume works.
Okay.
So far, there's nothing to hear, so you'll hear it when he takes off more. Actually, I could skip forward a little.
This is the cop's car?
This is.
They're both
cop chasing the cop.
100 miles an hour trying to catch up.
You got audio?
Yeah, we got audio.
Yeah.
He's chasing another cop car, marked cop car. This is crazy.
The guy that
and the guy lights him up, gives him lights, and he's still.
I'll be down that bumper.
He take off some more.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Bill. I wouldn't know the guy was chasing him.
11070.
Like I'm looking to get out of his way.
I would think that he was chasing.
I would think he was going on a call. I wouldn't think he's pulling me over. I'm with the Orlando guy at this point.
You going to pull over?
Please say a command.
Pull over.
Pull over.
Don't tell me this cop is black, man.
No.
3113 to 313.
What? I am going into work, my man. Why are you trying to pull me over as I'm going?
Because you're going to 80 and a 45.
I am going into work.
Okay, where are you going
to work?
What does
it look like I am dressed for?
What
does it look like I am dressed for?
My name is Deputy Hilton, and they see your driver's license.
No.
Okay. 3113. Copy at 1050.
Anybody here?
10-4. I got a city Orlando PD taking off from a traffic stop. It's going to be X-ray Foxtrot 6207, XF 6207. Refuse to stop.
You sound like an idiot. Like what were you? Why? Why are you pulling over a cop for speeding in a marked car?
Like I got if if Chuck got pulled over right now and showed his ID and he gave him a hard time, I get but a marked and he's in uniform.
I don't even know what to say, man. I'm flabbergasted. I have no comment.
They went and arrested him.
And it's not even a racial thing because they're both white. So now what?
I wouldn't even stop until I got to work. Let that motherfucker arrest me at my precinct. I would arrest his ass.
But that cop in uniform got arrested after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
You're serious?
They arrested him and he lost his job.
Yep. Yo, Kev, can you play it again? Yo, my man got a
You gotta give me a moment. You gotta give me a moment. Yeah.
I know, yo, but my man said, yo, what are you pulling me over for? Like, yo, dude. Like, yo, he got a mark.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. Even if he just didn't like the way he was driving for whatever reason, he pulled him over. I would have said, dude, I'm just making sure you on the job. I didn't know this was a stolen car. Then I would have let him go. I would have said, yo, you going to work. But yo, quiet as kept. He could, a lot of these places, they take these cars home. He could have been going into work to do an emergency search warrant or a release. I don't know what he was rushing for, but the bottom line is,
well, he was going into work. He was just going to work.
I think he was looking for a better answer than that.
Wow.
Why he pulled them over, I have no clue. But
that's crazy.
He pulled over Rich because he said he was speeding. He's doing 90 in a 40 mile per hour.
Hey, Chuck, the worst part is this dude got arrested and lost his job.
I don't even know what to say, man.
I did tell you guys on the Chronicles what happened to me before I retired, right? I told y'all that I was going over the Whitestone Bridge from the office to the lab in an unmarked dark blue Dodge Charger. And I guess you can't do over 40 on the bridge, so I was doing a little fast. It was 3 a.m. I'm going to the lab and then I'm going home. TBTA lights me up and pulls me over.
I got a TBA too.
I show him my ID. He tries to reach in the car to take my ID. Well, we know I'm a little more seasoned than that, so I lean back and I'm like, yo, you got your flashlight. I'm showing it to you. Oh, you're not going to give me ID? You're not going to give me ID? I said, no, I'm working. I'm on my way to the lab. Matter of fact, I got 13 guns in the back of the car. This is a police car. What is it right now? I'm working. Oh, get out the car. Get out. I said, I am not getting out of this car. It's dark. I said, I am not getting out of this car. He says, oh, well, you're not gonna give me your ID? Well, you gotta show me your license. You gotta give me your license. I said, I don't have to give you my license, but out of respect, because I know where this is going. I said, I'm gonna show you my license. So I show him my license, and he catches me off guard and snatches it and runs back to the car and writes me a speeding ticket. Guys, did you hear me tell you I was on duty and I was still on the job? And they wrote me a speech, and I was in an unmarked police car.
Oh my God!
And I told him I had 17 guns in the back of the car. We had just did a takedown in Staten Island. 3 a.m, and he talking about get out the car. Oh shit, not me. Not me. Wrote me a ticket. Nevertheless, to make a long story short, wound up going to traffic court. I had the DEA lawyer there, this and that. The judge was like, listen, I don't want to hear nothing from you. He said he could tell his story himself, right? And when I told the story, the judge looked at this dude and said, dismissed. This dude was so red and walked out. He couldn't believe. I was like, yo. The judge was, when I was sitting in the court, I was sitting on the bench where the officers are. And I'm in plain clothes. He's like, excuse me, sir, that's for law enforcement. I said, yeah, I am law enforcement.
Yo, I gotta tell you a funny one with a traffic agent, right?
Oh my God!
Yeah, bro.
I gotta tell you this funny one. Then I want to show this video again because this is hilarious. Yo, I'm coming off the West Side Highway, so you go to 57th, you got to loop around 58th and then come to 57th and come up, right? So I come around to the stop sign, and I guess the traffic agent was out there, and I'm talking about traffic agent, not traffic cop. Traffic agent was standing out there trying to catch people. He was doing car stops, right? He was violations. So I got to the stop sign. I did the roll and stop, and I took the stop sign. So and then he waved me over. So I waved back, right? He's like, "Yo, come over."
Yeah.
I waved at her, right? So, yo, I kept going. Now I'm going to Lexus. So I turned right there on 11th Avenue, right? He jumps in his car and comes and he hits me with the lights, and he's chasing me now. Now I'm going to Lexus. So Lexus was right there on the corner of 57th Street. Now, Chuck and Ty knows this. If you've worked in narcotics or plainclothes units, a lot of times you wear your gun in right in the center. You don't wear it on the hip anymore. Kev, you know that too, right? So now I got it, and I got my jacket open. So now he pulls me over. He jumps out the car. So I jump out the car, and now my jacket blows open. I got a gust of wind, and my jacket blows open. 9mm in my waist here. So he's walking out the car, and we walking up to each other, and he says, "Yo, what?" He said, "You took the stop sign." I said, "Yeah, what about it?" Right? I didn't even identify myself yet because I'm like, "Yo, you're buffing out. You're really getting carried away with this shit."
Right.
So I said, "Yeah." He said, "You didn't stop." So now he went from trying to. All he sees is that hammer that's sticking in my way. I said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you doing car stops for?" So I pull out my ID, and then he's like, "Oh," I said, "Yo, dude, you're gonna get yourself hurt, bro.
Absolutely.
I hope he's not on his job, because if he's on his job today, he is writing everybody and their mother up."
And he's looking for you. He looking for you.
Yo, I'll push his ass. Yeah. I'll push his ass. I'm gonna be nice and just say I'm gonna push it. I want to see this video again. Yo.
Oh man, got fired.
Got fired, bro. Arrested
And fired.
But check this out. For going to work. How do you get fired for going to work in a mark?
Going to work. Like I said, man, I'm without words. I'm usually quite articulate when it comes to certain circumstances. I can't even say anything about this. And it's not as if the guy's from an outside agency from another state. He works in the same state, the same county as this guy.
No. One is on the guy who gets pulled over is Orlando PD, and the guy who pulls him over is the sheriff in that county.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's within the same state, right?
Exactly, same city.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's just another agency. So just in terms of professional courtesy, you would think that would go, but obviously that's not the case here. And the guy got arrested and fired.
Yep. He ID'd himself and he left the scene. Why he got to stay there after he IDs himself?
For speeding. That's what it was for speeding.
Turn the volume back up.
There's no volume.
How do you think it's going to...
Yeah, we want volume. That'll make the whole thing.
I want to see this. I want to see this make the news. I really do.
Down. Radio, everything on. Yo, but was gangster. So wait a minute. So what happened? He chumped you. So now you want to go nah. You call.
He calls in his plate.
Supervision.
He called in his plate.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo.
Oh man, I can't, man. I don't know what to say, man. That's and loses his job.
Why? Because you. Why? No reason.
Makes no sense.
I mean, honestly, that was some real sucker shit he did. But,
that's crazy.
Dude exposed himself by saying, I'm going to work. Not I'm at work. I'm going to work.
I don't think.
And
I don't.
you know what I got?
He didn't feel like he had to really tell him that. You know, like he would have felt the same way. But
we got Rich and I know what you were going to say. Let me just interject. And then this goes to what I was going to say. They said he got arrested because his lights weren't on when he got pulled over.
What?
So this is what Doris is saying. Doris is saying, why is it okay for him to go 85 and 45 zone? He's going to work. He is breaking the is he is
yeah, because he didn't have his lights. He should have his lights flashing.
I'll go last. Go ahead, Rich.
He should have had his lights flashing, number one. That's probably why he chased him down.
He did put them on. He put them on and turned them off. He put them on and turned them on
after he got chased.
Yeah, so
you don't need your lights on.
Yo, could you let's say you were speeding in your private car and you saw that car coming up behind you, would you be able to tell that was a police car? Yes or no?
The car behind me?
No, that car that got pulled over, could you tell it was a police car?
Yes.
Okay, so why is this dude chasing this guy and he's a policeman? I don't understand. What
he was doing 85.
I think we found a new police commissioner.
And he did not have his safety lights on. So
it don't matter what lights. He could have had his brake lights, Rich. He could have had his brake lights on. You can't. If you can't tell that's a police car.
By saying that this dude did some sucker shit. He straight up did some sucker shit. But my point is this: the reason that you guys have sirens and the lights is so somebody that's maybe crossing or get ready to make a turn will see you and stop. Right? So forget about the fact that it was a cop car and all that. You ever drove your car and somebody came out of nowhere and you almost got hit or got into an accident? Or even sometimes a cop car, without turning their shit on, sometimes they'll go even when they're on the job. They'll go before they even hit the lights.
But the fact of the matter is, though, you can readily identify that is a police vehicle, whether I have my lights shining or not.
I am not disputing that. And again, I think that was some sucker shit that they did to homeboy. But he gave him some legs to do the bullshit to them. He didn't have his lights on, siren. Then he tells the motherfucker on camera that he wasn't in an emergency. He was just going to fucking work. And the dude is telling him, but you speeding. So until you actually get to work, you're not at work. So he didn't give him the courtesy.
I wouldn't say that's true. I wouldn't say that.
He did not give him the courtesy because he was a sucker.
I won't say
that still doesn't justify somebody getting arrested and losing their damn job, man.
No way in hell does that justify
that. Does not justify him getting arrested and losing his job.
Like Trump, nobody's above the law.
Yeah, I hear you, Rich, but in all actuality, this space, and then in this space that we
afforded the courtesy.
Listen to me.
That's what happened. You didn't get afforded the courtesy that's usually given.
No, listen to me, Rich. Listen to me. Let me say this to you.
Tell that to the motherfuckers that fired him. All right.
Okay.
Because I didn't fire him.
Rich, listen to me.
Because regardless of what you're getting ready to say, they fired that motherfucker.
You have no idea what I'm about to say. What I'm going to say to you is this. In this world, there's a thing called common sense, right? And is a rookie going through, not even a rookie, going through the academy. They had this officer in driver training that said this to us. He said, listen to me. He closed the door and he said, and I remember his name, and that was over 30 years ago. It was Master Antonio. And he said, you never ever give a ticket to a family member of a cop. He said, you never ever give a ticket to a fireman. He said, you never ever give a ticket to a correction officer. He went down the line, right?
And a doctor.
Huh?
And
he went down the line.
Yeah.
He said EMS. He went down the line before FD and EMS was the same. He said EMS too. He went down the line, right?
Basically, everybody but Rich.
And then he explained something that obviously this ignoramus doesn't get when he pulled this cop over. What he said was this: the reason you don't do that is because all these individuals, we work together and help each other out in what we have to do out here in this city, right? So there's a day when that sheriff department may need Orlando PD to back them up, or vice versa. You don't do shit like that. Like that's common sense. I hate to be on, and I hate to be on here. I hate to be on here cursing like Rich, but that right there really made me mad. And I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
Could you? How do you think those two departments are getting along now?
Dog, I agree.
They're at war. They're at war.
What I'm saying to you is, he did some shit that left him vulnerable for dickheads to do what they did to him.
But hold on.
Yeah, but Rich, Rich, if the average Joe was speeding, it's a violation. Unless he hit someone, he created an accident, he was driving in a reckless manner, it's a violation. You take my fucking license, you give me a summons, I go to court, they take some points. I don't get arrested for that.
But in other,
I'd like to see what the paperwork is on that, or why he got arrested.
Hold up. Not to contradict you, Chuck, but in other states, they have this thing called reckless driving when it's 10 or 15 miles over the regular speed limit.
And you get arrested for that?
It's a misdemeanor where they try and hold
Get them
people to that.
Get them stats.
No,
the arrest is not for the speed. If this guy wasn't a cop, he was pulled over, he said F you and drove off. That's what
different. No, that's different. No, that I understand. That I understand.
That's what he's
charged.
That
I understand.
He's charged with refusing a lawful order and like leaving the scene.
Okay, for that reason, I get it. Then yeah, of course you're gonna get arrested. But the initial reason was because he was speeding.
Yeah,
that's why he pulled over though. He got out, he ID'd himself, and that was that. What more is there to talk about?
Yeah,
what more is there to talk about, Kev?
He asked for his ID.
I'm on the Orlando cop side. He should have said. It would have made a whole lot more sense to me if he was driving to work in his regular car and got pulled over, and then he was a jerk. I'd understand that. You can't get any more clear than this. Marked car, uniform, and it's your neighboring department, so you know exactly what they're.
So who fired him?
He's not fired. He's on leave pending the investigation.
Oh, I thought you said he was fired.
Well, they said that they trying to fire. They was trying to fire.
He's on leave pending investigation.
So hold on, okay. I think let's. I want Chuck or Kev or Rich or Ty, whomever. I want y'all to answer Doris's question though. Her question is from a civilian standpoint. She's like he was speeding. Now I'm going to just give my take on it. Yes, he was speeding. He was speeding to work. Now the bottom line is he was in uniform. For those that don't know, once you put that uniform on, and maybe in different cities and states. Once you put that uniform on, you're working. Now,
right, you're on duty.
He's speeding and he didn't give lights. All right, but the bottom line is he's speeding down desolate streets. You know what I'm saying? Only thing he was going to hit is a deer or a straight or a squirrel or some shit. Now,
I don't know. On that run, it looked like cars was coming the other way.
Rich, in New York City, if I was working and Bill's in uniform drives past me and I pull him over, I am. It's in our patrol. I can't give him a ticket. He is working in uniform. I cannot. So his speed doesn't matter. Can I contact his boss afterwards and say, "Hey, your man was driving reckless and doing 80?"
Yeah, but that's New York.
That's different. I'm just saying we can't.
Yeah, no, that's New York. This is New York.
That's the Doris.
But Rich,
hey, listen. Let me tell you this. My brother was dating somebody that was on the force. They had a child together, living in the same house. And they were sharing a vehicle. She had the NYPD parking plaque in the window, but my brother had the car this day. So he was in Harlem with the plaque in the window. She worked in the Bronx, right? So he pulled over. He's double parked in the street talking to me and somebody else. Lieutenant Levine came from the 3-2.
I know Levine.
Caffeine Levine
Yeah.
He
Cap
walked
up.
up.
Yeah.
He walks up and he looks in the window. He said, "Yo, move this car." So my brother goes to get in the car. So he says to him, "Are you on the force?" He said, "Nah, my wife is." He said, "So why do you have this car? Why do you have this plaque?" He said, "I just told you, my wife is on the force." He said, "Yeah, but why do you have it?" He was like, "Yo, what the fuck is you talking about?"
He was trying to get him for impersonating a police officer.
He cuffed him.
Yeah, he got him for impersonating a
Took him
police
to the
officer.
precinct, called her boss, and told her boss that her man was riding around with her plaque.
Maybe it was her car, and the plaque was in her car, and he happened to have it.
But
Yes.
see,
Yes,
you know, Rich,
that's just it.
But
But
you,
it
Rich, I
wasn't-
mean, Kev,
He was not supposed to have that plaque.
No, because you know what's so funny? They probably got her for failure to safeguard, and they got him probably from. Or I have a story, and I got to leave the names out. I really have to leave the names out. A friend of mine had another friend's plaque, right? And you guys know, y'all all know him. Y'all all know the guy I'm talking about. Gave his plaque to one of our boys. He goes out of town. I think he gave him a car, but he goes out of town, whatever, he gives him a plaque. So the guy goes to work and he's parking up on the sidewalk, whatever. He's taking advantage of it. A retired MOS that works at his job as head of security saw that he was doing that. There was something stolen at their company. I'm gonna leave the company out of it, but it had to be something like give you an example of like a FedEx, a UPS, D whatever L, and they arrested him, right? Because the property was stolen, and then they arrested him. They gave the other officer a CD, failure to safeguard. They gave arrested dude on impersonating a police officer. Right? Now, this all stemmed from speculation. Right? One guy that left the job still should have stayed off the job, but he's buffing out. He's assuming dude driving a nice car, he stole some kind of things that's happening. So he's trying to solve the crime. That's what's happening at this company of missing computers, laptops, or whatever. And he jams my boy up. Now, the boy that had the plaque got arrested. He had to fight this shit, right? What happens? He ends up having a firearm in a gun in the car, right? Because he had a real high end car, and I didn't even, he had a firearm in a car. But the officer got in trouble, right? Now the officer didn't care because he was a golden child for the police department. So yeah, he got a CD, whatever. They took maybe like 10 days or some shit like that, whatever. But what happens is, for those, and I'm giving everybody out here some insight. When we all know when your loved one has your car, if I pull over Kevin's wife, Ty's wife, Chuck's wife, whomever, say Rich is on the job, and she parks and she goes and she doesn't want to get a ticket and she puts the plaque in the window, and I come out and I'm right, and I see her get in the car and I'm like, yo, you double parked or whatever, and I'm like, yo, whose car is this? And she says it's my husband. If I really want to be a ball buster, I do all those things like cuffing and hanging people up. But the worst thing I would do if I really didn't, if she got smart with me or he got smart with me, I would like, yo, call him on the phone. You know what I'm trying to say? Because like those that don't know, and correct me, Ty, Chuck, or Kev, that's what the PBA cards and the courtesy cards are. There was an officer recently that in Staten Island, he got in trouble, or he didn't get in trouble because he was writing MOS's mothers, sisters, and brothers and family members, and he was like, yo, they're giving courtesy cards out to people and they think they can break the law. Listen, dude, somebody's not everybody's thinking they can break the law when they get a courtesy card. The bottom line is, we as John Q. Public, people make mistakes. You go a little fast, you go on somewhere to work and stuff. I mean, you just different. I want to know who here, first you too, since you asked the question, who drives the speed limit? Who's 45 miles per hour a lane going 40? You know what I'm saying? Now in New York City, you damn near better do the speed limit, because if you go past a school zone, you're gonna get a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. I ain't never seen people driving so slow. You know how many tickets they're probably giving out in New York City? You just driving. I've driven by a school zone on Riverside Drive, and I didn't even know there was a school there. I got a ticket. I was like, I was 1 mile over the speed limit. I mean, like it was 25. I went 36. I got a ticket on Riverside Drive. Let me tell you something. I tell Malik all the time, I drive slow. Ain't nobody trying to get these tickets. I mean, because you got to pay them. But I mean, so Doris, to answer your question, he was going to work. Okay. Is he above the law? Technically, no, but he is the law. So he was rushing to work. That's the only reason I can give you. I mean, is it the same thing? A doctor speeding to work, trying to perform a emergency surgery? What I have a problem is when what that officer did, he pulled him over and he said, "Yo, give me your license." I know it's that flag. You gonna throw that flag in, Kevin?
No, here's my mail this week. 1 speeding ticket, 2 speeding tickets, 3 speeding tickets.
Yeah, yo, that's so cut it, right? You see what I'm saying? Like those school zone zones.
30, I was doing 30 miles an hour, 36. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. They
should have said thank you.
So let me read some comments and then we go wrap it up real quick. So Doris, I mean, I hope that answered the question. Like Ty had said earlier, you don't write doctors, you don't write former city agencies and stuff like that. And I didn't write transit either, because me being a former bus driver, I knew that their CDL, their driver's license is their for a police officer, it was their gun. That's how they work. If you don't have a driver's license, you can't work. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is we have to understand, yeah, he was speeding, but he was speeding to work. Like I think Chuck said it or somebody else said it. If he was, Kevin might have said it too. Both of them said it. If he was in his civilian clothes, rushing to work, then the dude could put him through the ringer. But he shouldn't have, because listen, you pull a fellow MOS over, once you show me your ID, I don't want to have a rap. I don't care who you work with. Yo, listen, I got pulled over before, and somebody asked me, "Do you know Jimmy? Do you know Scotty?" No, I don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? They might have been at the precinct before. What difference does it make? I got to go home and go to the bathroom, or I'm going to get leave me alone, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you this other quick story before I read these comments, and we can close out. You remember how they used to do the car stops? Like, what is it, 3 and 1, Kev, or Ty, Chuck? What was it, 3 and 1 when they used to do the right?
What, random?
So I'm coming, huh?
You mean like the random car stop?
Yeah, well, yeah, when they're doing the checkpoints.
Yeah, they're doing to get a count, right? 3, 1, 3, 1. Yeah, so supposedly it's random, but
so supposedly now, of course, driving a fancy whip, I'm coming to a car stop. White officer trying to be hip. I don't know where my mind frame is. I don't know if my father was in the hospital with cancer. I don't know if I just had an argument with whomever. I don't know what I was. I wasn't in the right place, right? But I wasn't feeling his energy. So he comes up to the car. I rolled down the window. He said, "What's up?" I said, "What's up?" He said, "Where you going?" I said, "None of your business." He said, "None of my business." He said, "None of my business." I said, "None of your business." So the lieutenant comes up to the car. So he said, "What happened?" I said, "Yo," I asked him where he going. I tend him in this process. I was like, "Yo, none of my business." So he called the lieutenant. The lieutenant comes up, and I was like, "Yo, I'm on a job." So the lieutenant says, "Yo, can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah." So I pulled over. So I'm about to get out the car. So the lieutenant said, "No, you can sit in the car." I said, "No, you ain't gonna talk to me sitting down. You ain't gonna look down at me. I'm standing up." So now me and the lieutenant, well, I'm taller than him. So now that conversation got, what, I grabbed him. Now I got him, right? So now we talking. So I hit him with the supervisor pose. I fold my arms now, right? Like, yeah, where we going with this? So he says, "Yo, like, I need to ask you, he's like, where, why is it there's so much tension between black officers and white officers? I said, well, first and foremost, Lou, I said, there's tension because white officers, some white officers, when I ask a black officer or a Latin officer a question, they open up an investigation. I said, yo, I tend him. That's all he had to say is say, okay, have a nice day. All that, where you going, that's none of his business. So he says, but he had the right to ask you that. I said, yeah, but I had the right to say none of your business. I said, he doesn't know what's going on in my personal life. He doesn't know my father's in the hospital with cancer. He doesn't know if I had an argument with my lady. He doesn't know if I have to take a shit. He doesn't know anything. I'm trying to get home and I got to go through this 1 in 3 shit. And he wants to sit here and try to be my homeboy, trying to talk about, yo, what's up? What's up? We ain't boys. Yo, you want to go by the rules? Come up to me and say, how you doing? You have license registration. I would have said, how you doing? I'm on the job. Boom. Asking me where I'm going. That's none of his business. So then me and this lieutenant, we have a dialogue over black and white relationships on the police department. I said, maybe I need to treat each other like y'all treat us. How about that? I mean, and it's sad that we even had to go through that. But my thing is, listen, you're not my boy. That's like if Kevin and Chuck are working or Ty working and y'all see me and y'all pull me over, y'all can say what's up to me. To say what's up to me, we ain't homeboys. You gonna ask me what's up and then gonna he leaned on my car like this. Yo, what's up? I rolled the window down. I'm like, yo, I leaned back on him like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. So I mean, it's just.
Well, he leaned in like that, hoping he could smell marijuana or something like that in the car.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I've gotten pulled over there. You know how we used to go to 110th Street and Broadway to get something for
right.
62. Officer pulls me over one time, right? I didn't know one of my headlights was out. I had a rodeo at the time. Pulls me over. So I was like, wow, what did I do? I with my man Rob. So he comes up to the car. He's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I say, hey, how you doing? He's like, why I pulled you over? I say, no. He says, your headlight is out. I said, oh, word? I said, I didn't know. So he said, yeah, it's this one. So he goes up with his nightstick and he hits my car. So smoke comes out of my bald head at the time, right? So he comes back and then he says, yeah, it was this one that's out. So he says, yo, license registration. So I show him my ID. I say, yo, I'm a detective. I'm on the job, right? So he goes down and he looks at it to see if it's authentic. So me, I stick it in his face, right? Yo, Chuck, I've been getting in trouble since the academy.
I was going to say it's nothing new, man. This is nothing new.
I stick it in his face. So he says, yo, I can read. I said, you seem like you couldn't. So I had to help you out. So he breaks out. I get the, ding dong on the way out. My man Eddie Vieira, he says, correct me if I'm wrong. Apart from a gun, badge, etc., the patrol car is also a tool of the officer, hence, as he is a trained professional driver. PD can speed, no issue, period. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Is that a question he's posing?
Yeah, he's asking. He said, correct me if I'm wrong. This is Eddie Vieira, Chuck. He said, correct me if I'm wrong. He said, apart from a gun, a badge, etc., the patrol car is also a tool of the officer. Hence, he is a trained professional driver. PD can speed, no issue, period.
Well, he's right. You have to be proficient in regards to driving an RMP. It's called an EVOC course, and you have to pass that EVOC course. Otherwise, you can't get behind the wheel of an RMP, period. So, yeah, there's a special advanced training that you have to go through in order to drive. So, yes, we are trained to drive at high speeds and in terms of being able to navigate and maneuver through like very tight spaces. So it's an EVOC course, but he's right. In terms of training, it is collective with everything else that we do.
Is that just New York or is that everywhere?
Well,
I would assume that all police departments have to go through some type of driver training, some type of EVOC course because it's an emergency vehicle.
Well, I do know in all joint agencies outside of Pennsylvania have to go to the Philadelphia Police Department for their training. I'm assuming that might. So like Kevin said earlier, Like, how do you think the relationship right now is with that sheriff department and that Orlando PD? You know, right now they are
Well, that
getting the
motherfucker could
business.
never go through that town.
It's going to be beyond that guy. Like it is going to be. They're not going to respond to each other's calls for help.
But especially that guy. That motherfucker going through there.
Their family members are getting lots of tickets right now.
Like that motherfucker going through that town is like Martin Luther King going through Mississippi without the crew. His ass is grass. Hey, Chuck. Chuck. You looking like John Shaft tonight. What's going on, brother? Huh? You looking like Shaft like a motherfucker.
I had to attend an event early today. It was for undercovers for the NYPD. So that's where I'm coming from.
Oh, okay. Damn right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an award ceremony for undercovers.
So yeah, my man Greg Coop G, he said, "Yo, I had an EMS plaque and got stopped by RoboCop Jenkins down 56th Street and 6th Avenue. He barked a little, then let me go without a ticket." Coop GP. Yo, you know what's so funny, Ty? Let me ask you a question, and then Kev, Chuck, and then Rich, and then we can get out of here. Yo, I was taught by an old school guy, like I think we all were. They would say, "Yo, never belittle somebody and then give them a ticket on top of it." Right? You know what I'm saying? Like
you give them a ticket and say, "Oh, have a nice day."
Like, yeah. Don't give me a tongue lashing and then still give me a ticket. You're gonna give me a ticket,
right?
Then all right, cool. But you're not gonna sit here and say, "Yo, you stupid. What the hell is wrong with you? I can't believe you. You're a moron. You stupid." You know what? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden talk about, "Yo, I'm gonna give you a ticket too." Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
I think the worst thing that cops who work there out on the street don't realize until it's basically done to them is you can't take away a person's dignity and their and their self-respect and expect them to act a certain way or be happy about it. And you get that saying, you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. It works all the way around. I mean, you don't have to be super nice with people, but you treat people a certain way and you get what you want, whether you're locking them up or you just talking to them or trying to get information out of them. And I find that you go through life that way, and things work out much better for you. So that's my last thought. People have to start treating people with a certain certain respect, and not try to take people's dignity and self-respect away.
Kev, your thoughts?
Say goodnight on this moment because I got to get out of here. But yeah, he's right.
No, we're gonna get out. Yeah, that's why I just wanted to give people closing thoughts. Yeah.
It is that you just treat people with respect. It's firm fare. It is how I treat my kids. It's how I treated the public. You don't have to be a pushover, but you don't have to be a jackass. Right. It's not that difficult. And I get we all have bad moments. You got to take a breath, and you can't take it out on somebody else. Yeah. That's part of being a human being.
Yeah.
We all have things in our lives. We all have things where we have stress, where somebody bothers us, something hurts us, but does not, under any circumstances, give you the right to take it out on someone else.
Absolutely. Chuck,
enjoy the day. It's summer.
Exactly. Chuck, go.
Oh, brother, I don't think I have to add anything to that, man. These two brothers pretty much hit it on the head, man. It's all about, treating people as you want to be treated, and I think that's indicative of any profession. And that should just be the rule of thumb when it comes to just dealing with, other living beings, man. So, I've always felt very clearly that, some people would say you get what you receive, or you get what you make of yourself. So my thing is, if in fact you treat people with a certain amount of respect and you also have respect for yourself, then that's what you should show. Or that's what you should illustrate. It's as simple as that, So, except for Rich, when I see him, if I saw him on the street, I'll fuck his world up, man. I'll lock his ass up.
I was gonna ask Kevin Ty, what was he gonna do if they pulled Rich over?
Oh, yeah.
Rich should get his ass whipped.
Yo, look at Rich. Yo, you caught him off guard. You caught him off guard. Yo, Rich. Rich, when you said you ain't going out alive, right? Like you going out like Medea.
Get what the last two sergeants that tried that shit got. Get asses whipped. Get on the horn and call for some fucking help, and then fuck me up.
Hey, yo, we getting out of here, everybody. Yo, we got to go out with some laugh. Yo, we got to give a shout out to our brother Roscoe in the building. Yo, you're doing a phenomenal job. Everybody, watch this stuff coming up. Shout out to my man Ollie. Shout out to everybody that chimed in tonight. We appreciate you. Listen, yo, Real Talk is what it is. Listen, brothers here, we coming together. We just trying to give you some insight from all perspectives and our own knowledge of the thing. Watch us, appreciate us. We always try to say in the summertime, we trying to go an hour, but you know, when you get these funny guys, it goes an hour and a half. So at least we shut it down. Everybody have a good night. We see you soon, man. Appreciate you. Juneteenth. Yeah, we might be here. We might not. That's a holiday. Kevin, I know you taking that off. Let me say that.
Damn right I am.
Yeah, you better get in. I appreciate you too, Doris. Capricorn.
Oh shit.
Yo, good night, everybody.